Hey, everybody, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to our podcast. It is the CRAVE podcast, classy, riotous, and vivaciously evolving. I have with me tonight Clarissa.
Hey.
How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited to talk about this. Hurry up and introduce us so we can get into this.
Okay, and we got Courtney.
Hey, hi guys.
Okay, so tonight's topic is friends. Dun dun dun. How many of us have them? Friends. And speaking of friends, we have a fourth member of the podcast. I don't know that she's going to be a friend anymore. She was making her way in, and we don't know where she went. So, we miss you, Anne.
Yes.
All right. So, yes, the topic is friends. And one of the big ticket items that I think we all agree that is very important in friendship is honesty. Can you be honest with your friends and still keep the relationship?
Okay, so I'm going to hop in real quick because it depends on what level of friend they are. Because I have like levels of friend. If it's a close friend, I feel like I can be very honest with them, brutally honest, and we can still work through any conflict that honesty might bring and stay friends. But if they're not a close friend, I'll be honest, we don't talk about certain things. So
wait, what do you mean?
Like if they have a specific issue in their life that I don't agree with, I don't tell them about themselves. I've been like, listen, I'm gonna be praying for them, and Lord, you deal with them, because I know if I bring it up, they're gonna be like, we can't be friends no more. You judging me. But a real friend,
okay,
like, hey, I know you've been doing X, Y, and Z. You've been sleeping around out here in these streets. About you. She'd be like, yeah, I was having a hot girl summer, and I'd be like, you're gonna need to cool that down because it's gonna be a rough autumn. And she'll be like, okay, you're right. But see, she's not a close friend. She's gonna be like, why are you judging me? I'm just out here living. I'm gonna be like, okay.
So then would that be more of an acquaintance?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's what some people consider those to be friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people either consider you a friend or a foe. Like those are the designations.
Right. I get that. And so I would say the word friend to me is used way too loosely.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Whether it's friends on Facebook, Instagram, a bunch of people you don't really know.
Right.
I can say I have a handful of friends.
Yes.
Like there's people I know, from school, college, or whatever, but I only have a handful of friends. And I feel like even with my close friends, I'm not sure with maybe one or two that I could really be honest, because I asked, do you want me to be honest? Do you want me to tell you the truth? And sometimes the answer is no. And if the answer is no, then I won't.
Right.
Because some people, whether they're close friends or not, they don't want to hear about themselves. They don't want to hear your opinion of themselves. They just want to keep it pushing in their own little reality. And that's fine. It's totally fine.
I heard, if you don't know, now you do. I love Eric Thomas. And I heard him say, that he was always very opinionated with his wife, with his kids, and then he said he heard the Holy Spirit tell him to shut up. Mm-hmm. If your opinion is not asked for, don't just freely give it. That's not what people are looking for. Is there a difference if you see a friend that is maybe going down a destructive path? Let's just use something extreme like heavy drug use. Mm-hmm. When do you step in and say, hey, look, no, you didn't ask, but I have to say something because I'm your friend? When do you get the green light to do that? Does it have to be a certain level of friendship? Can it just be an acquaintance? If it is an acquaintance, do you go to someone else and say, hey, I feel like you should say something? When do we chime in with our opinions?
When my stuff come up missing, in a case like that, it would hugely depend on how good of friends are we. If we're close friends, if we're more like family, I'm gonna say something from jump, because why crack? like, where did this come from? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, what led up to these things, you know? But if it's, you know, Bobby that I know from, I don't know, high school or something, and we not really, you know, I'm not necessarily going to be like, hey, Bobby, I think you need to get help.
Right.
I hope you do. But I mean, it comes down to, is this my business? Sometimes, you know, like Desiree, if it was you, I would feel like, okay, this is a close friend. This is my business because, you know, this could affect our friendship.
It's
So,
true.
you know,
It's true, because I had that happen with a friend once. She has passed on, God rest her soul.
Oh wow.
But she was doing drugs, and she was actually a middleman at one point. And I'm like, Courtney, I was like, when it started to get too close, like she would want to hang out with me, and I'll be like, because they might come looking for you, and I'm not trying to get caught up.
No.
And I told her that I was concerned, and I was, you know, expressing that I thought that she needed to get out of it, get help, all of those things. But she didn't. So at that time, I don't know if she ever did get help, but at that time, and I told her, I said, listen, I don't even know how to be a friend to you at this point. So I don't think we're going to be able to be friends anymore. So from that point on, like, we didn't talk, we didn't hang out, nothing like that. But I wanted to let her know from the beginning, like Courtney said, from the jump, like, I'm concerned about you, you're my friend, all those types of things. And I did it repeatedly. But with other people who aren't close friends, because I just really care about people with like situations like that, I will say something. I might not have a whole in-depth conversation with them because we're not really that close, but I'll say something like, hey, I know that you've been, you know, doing some different things, and I'm really concerned about you. You need to talk about it, or what's going on? Like, I think you need to get help. But I probably wouldn't pursue it like as persistently as I did with my
close friends,
my actual friend, just because if I'm not really close to you, you might not receive it, so to speak.
Okay, so let's go in a different direction. Can you be transparent with your friends? Now, listen, I feel like that has many levels of transparency, because I can be honest with you and say, okay, listen, I feel like I need to lose about 30 after this baby. So if I call you and I tell you I had some ice cream, you know, check me. I'm going to be real with you. But then there's another level to transparency, right? Like, how transparent can you get with your friends? Do you feel like you can tell them any and everything? Like stuff that you wouldn't say necessarily to your colleagues or some people at church. Do you have friends that you feel like you can say whatever to? And then where do you draw the line? Because for instance, my grandmother would always tell people, like, don't tell your friends nothing about, you know, your husband, your man, and his, because then your friends might decide they want. Right. So, okay, what level do you draw the line of transparency at? How transparent is too transparent?
There is a line. Certain things that I'm not necessarily going to have a conversation with my friends about my husband. Certain things, but then, you know, it depends on how comfortable we are too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if we talk about, you know, positions or, you know, stuff you've tried, then, you know, yes, I'll talk about that stuff with a friend, but not necessarily, you know, go into depth about what my husband did or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, like that. So it just depends.
And for me, it depends on like the friendship too. Because again, remember, I have levels of friends, but I also have groups of friends that tell different things. Like, I know if I got a good juicy relationship story, I'm gonna call Des, and I got like two other friends, like my cousin and this other friend. I was like, let me not name them in case they watch the recording. I'll tell those people what's going on. But I'm not about to call some of my other friends and be like, oh, let me tell you what's happening. Because they're gonna be like, girl, what you doing out here in these streets? But I'll tell them, like, if I have something going on at work, and I'll be like, listen, I need you to pray for me, or this is what's happening in my family. Like, I need some support, some moral support, all those things. So I have like different groups of people that I share different stories with in terms of transparency.